Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, James.
So, good news and bad. Well, no,
Hey.
actually, only bad news at the moment. The bot has not tweeted yet. We'll see if it does in due course. I don't know. It hasn't hit the webhook for some reason. So, I'll just leave it to it for now and see what happens. So, we've potentially got a few issues we might want to look at today. One we've been backwards and forwards on because I guess I kind of thought that maybe I'd nailed it, and then on further reflection realised I've kind of completely misunderstood it. So I will recap on what the issue is. Go on.
We still have the stream starting shortly banner.
Good spot. Thank you. So I will, yeah. So the issue that we're seeing, I don't know, Marco, have you been using rules for a long time?
Rules? Well, yes. No, what? At least the last few months.
Okay, so not a long time at all.
No, not that long.
So same as me, really. So I was using only and except to include and exclude scheduled pipelines and to sort of only run on master branch or not run on master branch, etc. But then sort of wanted to do some more complex things and also read that really rules are kind of preferred, that only and except might disappear at some point. So at some point after having been using these rules, I kind of noticed a few things. First of all, that we're seeing some duplicate pipelines being created. And there's some kind of information about that in the docs, and it kind of suggests to do things like this. I'm sure I could dig out the links, but to tell the pipeline to only run if it's a merge request or if it's not a merge request. I don't really understand. That feels like a bug to me, and I need to dig and try and find an issue and understand a bit more about it. But it's documented and it's all good. So fine, fix the duplication. But now I'm seeing, and I think Marco, I guess, I hope you're seeing, I mean, I'm seeing it on my self-hosted instance, I'm seeing it on GitLab.com, and I'm seeing it in GDK, that not all commits, so this is my hacky fix that I've got checked out at the moment, so I'm just going to check master out. But yeah, despite the fact that you got, this is going to take some time because it got to recompile now. Despite the fact that there are 3 pipelines that have run supposedly for this merge request, once this is reloaded, I'll show you, here's one I prepared earlier, we will see this, that there's a pipeline showing against the first commit, a pipeline against the second commit, but no pipeline against the third commit. And the third commit is where I introduced the rules. So it's kind of I'm 99.9% sure that it's the rules that are causing this behavior. The confusing thing is that my initial thinking was that what was happening is that we were telling the pipeline not to fire for merge requests and only to fire for commits. So I was thinking that because we're on a merge request and we're looking at, even though we're looking at commits, because we're looking at commits on a merge request, that's the reason this was missing. But then when this reloads, when I looked at the actual rule that I'd implemented, it was the opposite, that we were actually saying only run the pipeline for merge requests. So, you know, if anything, this would be the scenario where I wouldn't expect it to cause issues.
So when you update the config, does it like, I don't understand how this works at all. Sorry. Like in the merge request, you're updating the config for the whole instance, and you're setting a rule about that.
It's just the YAML, the CI YAML for that single project, that single repo. So I'll go back to my little example here. So before, for these two commits, I had auto DevOps enabled. And then on this third commit, I introduced this really kind of pointless demonstrative CI YAML, which would pretty much just echo hello. But to sort of demonstrate when we've got rules, things break. And yeah, here comes our. Again, I've got some weird buggy behavior with GDK where the icons disappear altogether, and then I do GDK restart and it fixes it. So I hope that that's completely unrelated. But yeah, this is master. We see the pipeline, these two pipelines when we had the auto DevOps pipeline running, so there were no rules configured. And when we introduced the rule, we've not got this anymore. So my fix that I pushed up naively was the kind of code that's being used at the moment says, get the latest pipeline for a commit for a branch. So it's kind of the latest pipeline for a commit and it passes in the ref, the branch. Now, what I did, so this was the old behavior, and all I did was said, well, actually, if you can't find a pipeline for this commit for this branch, just get the latest pipeline for this commit, because we don't really, the branch doesn't, I don't really see the relevance of the branch. As long as the commit is right, then it's all good. So I just kind of did this fallback and that fixed the problem. But then when we started to talk about it a bit more, it was like, yeah, but that's not a fix, that's a hack, that's a workaround. So we kind of need to go back to understand why does this commit here, this one, what's different about it such that when you call this, it does find it, but when you call this, it doesn't find it. So I think we're trying to, I don't know what you call it, but my fix is kind of not a fix, it's a workaround. Whereas this, what we really need to do is fix the underlying data. Evening, Andrew.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, Andrew.
Good to see you.
I'm having a few technical issues tonight.
No problem at all. Do you need me to rewind a few seconds at all, or?
No, you guys carry on. I'm still trying to fix a few things.
No worries at all. Okay, cool. So yeah, does that make enough sense to you two that this is a hack, this isn't the right solution, and we'll start digging in sort of the Rails console or something to try and have a look
Yeah,
at the difference.
Yeah. Also, the presenter used in there is the same one that's being used to show the list of commits on a branch, right? So the same problem, we can see it if we go, to commits or branches.
Let's do both. I've just done something really, really silly. Right, so if I go to commits, what is this ordered by?
You should change the branch to the one used in the EMR.
Yeah, so same behavior on there.
If you fix it
And if
in
we go
one
on
place,
here,
every places will be.
yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, that's the only place. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And this one's even weirder still, right? Because you definitely wouldn't expect it to be past. Oh no, you would expect it to pass a branch in because we have got a branch selected here. Yeah. So I don't know. I guess if I open is it latest pipeline? So we've got this one. We've got this one. I'm not sure which one it's using. Just ref.presence or default branch. Char, return the chars. Newest first. Ref. So yeah, I mean, to me, it essentially seems like the ref must be missing. So if I do, I was hoping that I'd have.
But the ref is
prepared earlier.
The ref is the name of the branch, right?
Yep.
So why is it missing?
Wow, maybe this is the problem. Let's have a look at the previous one. Maybe that's refs in head. Let's see what the previous one is. There you go. That's the problem. Well, that was easy.
Well, it was easy to understand what the problem is, but why is it giving it that ref?
Let's try and figure that out. So when the pipeline is created, where's that going to happen?
I guess, do you remember? It wasn't last, or maybe it was last week, that we were talking about detached merge requests.
Yeah.
Maybe when they run the merge request, they don't check out the latest one, but they explicitly say which commit to check out. So they're like on a detached state, so they don't have the reference branch.
Right. And just, yeah, it kind of makes you wonder whether this is important as well. Like whether if we fix this to put the branch name in there, is that going to break other things? But I guess that's what tests are for, right? So if we try and fix this, we'll see if a load of tests fail.
If we actually find how they set that up.
Exactly, yeah. So tell me if you've got good ideas. But I was thinking something like pipeline.new. So create pipeline service seems like quite a nice place to start, right? Source origin ref. So that's a good question. Do we have? That's interesting. Just wondering if there's more than one ref in there. Like, can we find, is this information available anywhere else? If it isn't, I'm guessing that we might not be allowed to fix it. Oh no, we got a merge request ID in there. So I think that that the information that's in here is also in here. So I hope that we won't break a load of stuff. if we fix this. So does this tell it creates a new pipeline in the specified project? So create pipeline service. It's going to be somewhere. I don't know if it'd be like a commit controller or where it'd be. Create pipeline. There's probably a bunch of different places, to be honest. Well, also,
Oh, okay, I'm back.
that's all right. Yeah, so we've got. Go on.
I found maybe one place that references that strange ref name on the pipeline.rb file at line 1401.
Wow. Yeah, I feel like that's. So why is this? This is a CI pipeline. What is this?
Is the reference like the address where the branch name can be found? Does that make sense?
Kind of.
What does reference mean here?
So I've seen it before. I've got to try.
Because what worked was the actual branch name, right?
Here it is. That's, although it's not exactly right. It's a weird way you can actually in Git you can check something out, like check a merge request out. But yeah, generally a ref, as I understand it, I think it can be a SHA, can't it? A ref, or is it a tag? No, it can be a tag or a branch name. Is that right?
Yeah, the SHA is the reference to the specific commit. The ref should be the name of the branch.
Or it can be a tag, can't it? A ref as well.
Oh yeah, because tags are kind of like branch names because you can check them out.
So what I'm confused by is
kind of looks like an address to a branch name, right?
It's just a weird notation.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really know.
Because it looks like, if you have like a user, you have user James, but you could also say like user, project.
I kind of know what you mean. You could get the merge request from here and get the branch name from there almost, but it's just a bit backwards. What I'm a little bit confused by is this looks like an instance. This is an instance of CI pipeline, right? So why did things like git ref, is it private? Was it 1,400 and something? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So going back to where do we think? So when you push, that's where I have no idea whether like it's the commits controller or whether there's some kind of, is it like Gitly or something completely unrelated to the GitLab project itself that kicks off these pipelines. I suppose I should be able to, if I do a GDK cleanup, then push a commit, I should be able to figure it out. Hopefully, I'm hoping I can look at the logs and we'll find out.
That's origin.
So we'll do cleanup, get all the logs, push a commit. Job's a good one. And then see if there's a call in here to create pipeline service.
I guess that's...
Oh, there's a create pipeline worker.
I'm kind of afraid that specific ref syntax is tied to the runner itself, because I was looking at an MR that they were using as a mockup to change how the runner checks out the code before building,
right?
And yeah, they're doing something with their references. I don't know how to explain it because I don't really know how that works.
Create pipeline worker. So ref. CI/CD controller, that kind of makes, so that's run auto DevOps. So that's project default branch. That's even more confusing. Because why would you, I'm not even going to go there, create pipeline service.
Sorry, what did you say about default branch? Say that again.
It seemed weird when I was looking at here. So this is when the commands run auto DevOps pipeline, and it seems like it's passing in the default branch, but I guess I don't know the third parameter, what the third parameter is.
Because the default branch
is the ref, yeah. It's like, well, why would you pass the default branch in if the auto DevOps pipeline was running on a different branch? But I'm not going to go down a rabbit hole because that's kind of neither here nor there.
Sorry, but that's the ref that did work.
That ref would work. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely. So where did I was going around in a bit of a circle.
Are we trying to work out why we don't just use that?
Yeah, I guess we're trying to understand where. So ref. I've gone around in a bit of a loop here. Sorry. Create pipeline worker was called by this one, create pipeline service. So yeah, we want to kind of find out. So this one here is passing a project ID, a pull request ID. So yeah, we want to see what is insert in that weird ref. So create pipeline worker. So when we just passed it a pull request, that's it, isn't it? Or isn't it? Pull request ID, create pipeline worker.
It's the third argument, so it should be that one.
Yeah.
But then, But I don't understand why this is tied to the rules.
I see what you're saying. It must. I think it's just a different route, if that makes sense, to create. So let me follow. Oh, I might not be able to follow that, to be honest. So I think I can do a Rails. Would I be able to tell from the log? Have I still got the log open?
Because we can either try to understand what's the difference between when a pipeline is created using rules and when it's using only and accept.
Yeah.
Because I guess it's really burns down to that, because I think they should be able to do the same thing.
So I think ultimately it's not that we're using rules, it's the rule itself. I think it's if it's a merge request. I can't believe we call them pull requests.
Yeah, I was noticing before.
So I think maybe if we go back a step further, external pull requests. This service is responsible for creating a pipeline for a given. Oh, okay. So
that's why they're called pull requests.
In this instance, okay. Let's not save that one. Create pipeline worker. So I've got round in a circle again. So yeah, where else do we call it from? So merge request based service. Create pipeline for. This is the challenge I have, and I'd love somebody to give me a better way of kind of working backwards.
Yeah.
To see how, but I think async really kills us here, because all of a sudden you can't just work on the backtrace. You can't just say, oh, well, this called this, which called this, which called this, and this is where we started. Because when async things are happening, it's just all over the place. But I would love somebody to help me understand a better way of. But yeah, so create pipeline worker. Perform. There's not actually that many places where it's called from.
Yeah.
We looked at that one. That was for Auto DevOps. And this is merge request based service. So where is that then called from? Merge request after create service. Create pipeline service. Refresh service. Perfect. This is it.
Refresh.
Yeah, because I've been doing some work in here with relation to code owners and approval rules and stuff.
Okay.
So I know that when a commit is pushed, the refresh service is used to update approval rules and do some other bits and pieces. So I'm fairly confident that this is our, whatever you want to call it. This is the one that's responsible. So it calls create pipeline for with the merge request, blah, 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 blah. So that then calls base service. So yeah, I want to just do merge request dot source branch or target branch.
How is that being used? Because the merge request ID should be 15 or 16 or something else, not that rough.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. ID Formation, can we just get rid of?
Yeah, it doesn't really make
Pipeline
either the
service.
parameter name is wrong.
What about when we know?
Oh, that's a named param, like kind of.
Yeah, that's weird. So that's not one.
Well, this is the execute, so
Oh
you should-
yeah, sorry, yeah, it should be the no, the initialize that we're looking for, which comes from base service.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this is the rabbit holes that we. Why can I not find CI base service? This never works. No, I don't think you can. There's no base service in this folder, is there? Because this is alphabetical order. There's no base service. So it must just be the standard services.
Base service.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there will be a param that's just a hash map.
Yeah. Yeah. So going back to.
We need to check. Yeah, that's.
So that's just a.
It's not the third parameter. It's creating the params hash map.
What's.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. Oh.
So what is that ref?
So would you say
Create pipeline service. Create pipe.
project user params? Yeah, so that's sticking ref into the params, but it's also passing whatever the hell this is. But we've, oh god, this is confusing. Can I don't know if I want to do this, but I'm gonna try it's probably going to explode, but I'm going to try it anyway. Not had much luck with this prior shell at all.
Oh, if you search for create pipeline services.new, there are 86 results. Oh, well, I can exclude expecs.
It's almost, to me, suggests that this isn't, that bit of code's not being called anyway, so we're in the wrong place.
Sorry, it might be, I realize it's probably a dumb question and I don't really understand Ruby, but like class create pipeline worker, there's this appears in the code base 3 times. Does that mean the same function, class create pipeline worker is actually like, is created 3 times?
So sorry, that.
Yeah, like why is this defined 3 times?
App search workers. So yeah, it looks like we've got one which is in the external pull requests namespace, so in that module, so you would reference it by doing external pull requests .create pipeline.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just very
Makes sense.
subtly different. Save that, and then this one, create pipeline worker. Oh, that's a good spot actually. I didn't notice that there were these two different ones, one for merge requests and one for so the one that I had open that I tried to put my shell in is just the normal worker. So again, James, you might be onto something there. That being said, my thing has broken again, and I have no idea what's causing this. It feels like I just have to do a GDK restart. But yeah, I would love to. Let's put one in there and see if.
Because yeah, the app workers merge requests create pipeline worker. The third parameter is merge request ID, which I think is merge request ID is where we would have
this one here, or no.
This one, line 18. The third parameter is merge request ID.
Yeah.
I think merge request ID is where we have like merge request /19/head.
It isn't normally. No, and actually this thing where it's finding it by here isn't either.
No, that's the ID, actual ID, for example, 15, 16, 17. The ID of a merge
So the ID will be a number.
Yeah.
That's the theory. Yeah.
But if we are finding the merge request, we can get the branch.
Aha! We've hit it. So I want to see. There's nothing in there.
Okay. Should you hide our faces so the stream can see the?
Yeah, let's do it. I don't know actually if I can hide them completely. The problem is I lose screen real estate if I do any of that.
Yeah, but if at least we can see the console. Like,
can you read that? All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So okay, so this is good in a way because there's nothing too crazy going on here. So it's just calling merge request create pipeline service, which is not this one. Okay. So there's a separate merge request create pipeline service, which I can't find.
Create pipeline worker.
Spell.
Create
request create pipeline service. That's this one. You. What's it? Although it's not calling create, it's just calling .execute, which then says create detached. Right. So it's these blooming detached things that are absolutely killing. There you go. Pipeline ref for detach. Fabio, you've got a lot to answer for. So I'm just going to cheat initially. So what should I is merge request source branch. Ref? Oh, that's not cool.
I think I found something. I'll put it in there. I don't know how to share. Private chat. I can send this to the host and other guests.
You spelled merge request wrong there, Lee.
Thank you, Andrew. That will be why that didn't work. Oh, and that's a crappy one as well that we don't want. Cool.
So the link that I sent, it says that this
I will
where
open
we
that
have
right up now. Sorry, it's on the wrong screen.
so the ref path looks like what we were expecting as a ref, but it wasn't a ref, right? Ref slash merge request slash one slash head. So maybe we were getting a path instead of the ref. 'Cause
Yeah,
I feel like
I
if we
mean,
know
we
that, then we
are.
can work out.
We definitely are. That's definitely what's happening. But it's trying to understand why somebody that like because it's clearly deliberate, and we're going to
Okay.
break that. We're going to put something. We're going to put an actual. Oh, okay. So they do still call it a ref path. So
So if we know that we're getting a ref path, then we can add something to say like from this ref path, give us the actual ref, right?
well. Yeah, see, it's a bit. What I guess I'm confused by is me and Marco were talking earlier, and we said that a ref is either a branch name or a tag name.
I guess
But now we're
this.
saying there are other things that are also refs. So then it's
I
like,
guess this is actually kind of a hack that they did to pass the data to the runner, because I think given that path you can get the MR. From the MR you can get the branch, and given the head at the end of that ref name, you know that you should check out the head of that branch, so the latest commit. Because I don't know what happens if you run a pipeline not on the latest commit, that ref should change.
Yeah, so a ref is an official Git thing. So I'm assuming the
Yeah.
ref path is just this kind of thing.
so the problem is that one pipeline can have multiple refs, but it can't in the database. Do you think that's an apt conclusion?
A pipeline can have multiple refs.
Yeah, because like a ref could be a branch name, it could be a tag name, it could be a. Do you know what I mean?
Like I think any individual pipeline would only ever have one ref, but
Yeah.
it could
Well,
have.
it can physically only have one ref,
Yeah.
but when you think about it in the another way, do you know what I mean? Like there are multiple refs to the same commit, and therefore there are multiple refs to a single pipeline.
Yeah. But this,
Yeah, I guess.
the syntax, I mean, how the ref is laid out on that ref name is looking more like something GitLab specific than Git itself, because we have merge request, the ID of the merge request.
Yeah, it's. I'm trying to think how to. What I think we're trying to do, not we're trying to do, but the original intention was to ensure that if. Oh God, so confusing. So if you've got a rule that says like run a pipeline if it's a commit, and then you got one, say if it's a merge request, it's trying to separate those two things so that they don't show up in the wrong place, I guess. E.g., if you have a commit pipeline, not a merge request pipeline, then you kind of don't want it to show. But do you care? As long as the pipeline was run against the right commit, do you care what branch that commit was on? You don't, do you?
No, you only care about the commit.
But then what if you've got...
But what, like, it matters what that commit is based on, right? 'Cause if you cherry
Yeah,
pick
but
that
what a
commit
commit
to
is
different-
based on is the... Sorry, wait, no, that's right. We looked at commit. So we looked at SHAs, SHAs a little while ago, right? So we understood that it's kind of the culmination of what makes up this kind of. So it's all the history. So if this same SHA is present anywhere else, it will essentially be exactly the same code. So
And the same history.
what is that, Marco?
And the same history.
And the same history, yeah. So it doesn't, therefore, it kind of doesn't matter if this commit, what branch the commit's on, because the commit is the commit. That's one argument. But then I'm playing devil's advocate on the other side. If we had pipeline rules that said, do this thing when it's a commit and do this thing when it's a merge request, so two different things, then potentially the one that we wanted to see on here might be different to the one that we want to see somewhere else.
I get what you mean.
In which case, my hacky solution, MR, that I've already pushed up, actually now seems like the correct solution.
Because you want to see the latest pipeline that run for that commit on that branch.
If one exists, but if it doesn't, I'm happy with just the latest. I don't know. It still doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah, but
Say it again. Sorry.
So I think there are scenarios where multiple pipelines can run when a single commit is pushed. In fact, I know there are. Because with rules, you can make it do that. You can make it run a merge request pipeline and a commit pipeline. I don't know if there's other types. There probably are. So there can definitely be multiple pipelines from a single commit. You can also run manual pipelines as well. So when you look at this, you've got to figure out which pipeline you want. And that's the bit that, so if you've got a commit pipeline, a merge request pipeline, and a manual pipeline all run against the same commit, then which one should we take? And I think that's what is trying to be clever. That's where the ref bit comes in and says, if the ref's present, then that gives us the most appropriate pipeline. Because,
And so the problem is instead of getting a ref, we're getting a ref path, and we're treating it as a ref, so it breaks.
Well, that's what I'm trying to understand, whether that is a problem or not the problem. I don't know that is. I think that's part of the problem, but I think there are other scenarios.
Okay, sure.
Like, so if this commit was actually pushed to a different branch, or it wasn't pushed to a branch at all, I don't know if there's some other way that this commit can be here. And you want to say, I don't care about the ref. The pipeline was run against this commit, and if there's not a pipeline for this ref, I do want you to fall back. That's kind of what I'm getting at. That I think falling back might be the right approach. That what we're saying is, if there's not a commit that matches this exact criteria, so what we're saying is there might be 5 pipelines to choose from. So the first thing we're going to say is make sure we take the most recent pipeline. But the other thing we're going to say is actually that, we can filter it down more than that by saying filter by the ref. And I think, because I'm not even sure about that. I was going to say that on a project where you've got merge result pipelines enabled, then you don't want to see. So how do I show this? I've got another window open, haven't I? You wouldn't want to see a merge result pipeline on this screen.
Yeah, but that would that be on the same commit or not? Because that would run on the after the merge has been merged.
No, merge result pipelines run before the merge.
So on the same commit.
Yes. Oh no, you're right, Marco. Awesome. That's our get out of jail free merge result pipeline. So this commit is a made up commit. It doesn't.
Yeah, because it should be like a temporary commit that testing like the actual target branch with the merge.
So in which case, does that go back to our question about, do we care about the ref, or should we just be looking for the latest pipeline for that commit?
Well, you could have, if we look for the latest pipeline for that commit, we could have, for example, a manual pipeline that run after the latest pipeline on the MR.
Yeah. Okay. Manual pipelines. Yeah. Any other weird scenarios that you can think of?
Scheduled pipelines, but I don't think so. Well, yeah,
no,
you could.
I think that's apt as well.
Yeah, because you can run a scheduled pipeline on a branch, and if that branch is on an MR, yeah, trippy.
Yeah, it's. I'm still questioning it though. Do you know what I mean? Like, so what do we want? So we're saying we want a commit pipeline only. Do we have something that tells us what kind of pipeline it is? Is it like?
Yeah, should be the source.
So what are the possible values for source?
Is it on a commit or on the pipeline? Yeah, it's the pipeline.
Pipeline. All right. Yeah. So I'm going to have to look.
Pipeline source.
Probably in the docs is the easiest place to find this, in all honesty.
Push, schedule, merge request. There should also be what was it called? Merge train. Are you sure that it should be the easiest way?
What should be the easiest way? Here we go. Push web schedule API external chat web ID. Jeepers creepers.
But yeah, if we are on a merge request, we should look for the latest commit. The latest pipeline that run for that commit, and its source is the merge request event. But that only Oh, maybe that's the problem. That would only be valid if the oh, maybe not, because with rules you can say that the pipeline can run or cannot run on every commit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I think
if you are on a merge request, I guess the event should always be merge request event for as the source. Because if you set up a pipeline to run on every commit, you would have that run when you don't have a merge request open. I guess the source should be push because you're pushing that commit up. But if you are pushing that commit to an open to a branch that has an open MR, I guess the source should be merge request event. I guess we are.
I'm trying to understand a scenario. So let's say you did have so this is what I thought the problem actually was before I started really diving deep in. I thought the problem was because what we thought we were going to do is set pipelines to only run for commits and not to run for merge requests.
Yeah.
And the reason we were going to do that was because we always want pipelines to run when someone pushes a commit.
Yeah.
Not only when there's a merge request in place.
Yeah. Well, it depends on how you set up your workflow, but yeah.
99% of the time we should always have a merge request in place. But
yeah,
in the, we want the pipeline to run regardless. So, but my thinking is that you would want to show the pipeline that have run on the merge request, even if it was just a commit pipeline.
Yeah, but if you are on a merge request, that pipeline should be a merge request pipeline.
No, because the pipeline might have run before the merge request was even created.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how we've got in this state.
Yeah, you're right, because you can push commits up to a branch and open the MR after. Exactly. But pipelines could already have been processed. Oh.
So I've gone kind of full circle from thinking my fix was terrible to thinking it's spot on to thinking maybe it's somewhere in the middle, because I believe that maybe we should be excluding a few things. I feel like push should include, web should include, schedule should exclude. API, I'm not sure about API. I'm not sure about external. I think probably include that. I don't know about chat. I think the only ones that I really want to exclude are schedule. And I thought there would be one called manual.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's web.
Maybe it's web and API.
We have web and web ID.
Web ID, I guess I would expect that's, when you're actually making a change, pushing a new commit.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess that web is something else.
Yeah, so we would need to understand the definitions a bit better. But even that, I'm a little bit on the fence. I don't know how bad it would be if you showed the result here of a pipeline that had run, like a scheduled pipeline that had run against that commit, or some other pipeline that ran against that commit.
Yeah. Do you know where enums are defined on the code base?
It varies sometimes in the models themselves.
Because this is the actual place. Maybe there are some comments on what they mean.
So it's actually pipeline sources. No, that one. Pipeline source.
Oh, and also the EE can extend that enum.
I can't even find the Boxy thing. I don't know why this just doesn't work sometimes. Here we go.
Oh, okay. No comment whatsoever.
I love that there's an unknown one as well.
You never know. But we don't have manual, so I guess that...
I think because manual's probably broken down, right, to a number of different ways that maybe you can initiate a manual pipeline.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. So
wow. Yeah, so really the long and short of it is that we need to ask the group to help us understand what the desirable behavior is, or
at least if what we think it's happening is the right thing.
What to see if they think that the current behavior is correct, you mean?
No, if what we think it's happening is correct. And yeah,
what do we
basically
think is happening?
Yeah,
I mean, we know what's happening, right? The ref is not in the right format.
Yeah, so yeah, it really boils down to ask whether our solution, if we call that a solution, works out. I mean,
so that's a good question, actually. I kind of went off on a bit of a, I don't know why. I'll have to rewatch this recording to understand why I didn't like this fix. So first of all, should I see if this fix works? I think we'll try not to take much longer anyway. But am I? Yeah, I'm on the what's it?
Yeah, I guess that the real problem that they also faced when they implemented this was actually what we thought earlier. I mean, for a single commit, multiple pipelines could run.
Yeah. So how do we get there?
Yeah.
So that's where my fallback, I think, might not be a terrible solution. Because I think we might need to kind of fix this, but also still have a fallback as well to sort of say, well, actually, I'd rather if there was a pipeline run against this commit, even if it was kind of in a different context, I still kind of want to. Oh, so when did I create? Was that after my film? Jesus. I'm just gonna. So again, I really don't know why this keeps breaking and I keep losing all my icons until I do GDK restart. It's just really weird. But yeah, I just want to see if that fix if that fix works. because that might solve it for I don't know, 50%, 70%, 80%. I don't know, most scenarios.
Yeah.
Let's just have a look. Right, now that's even blooming weirder, right? But before I did a GDK restart, this commit was showing a pipeline against it. Now I've done a GDK restart. These two are, and none of these. That is just bizarre.
Well, maybe we had the GDK in a kind of a funky state.
Yeah, but
I hope
what
that was
kind
the
of funky state can cause it to randomly bring back something for this and
Oh,
oh,
don't ask me questions that I don't know the answer.
did I don't know if I just pushed a commit now or not.
Yeah.
You had a log before. Like, how could we find what is and isn't running, or hasn't run?
What's that? Sorry.
You opened up a log before, so like, is the front end wrong here, or
Do you mean just to see what this, the GDK, or do you mean
yeah, like when we
the-
restarted it, it said that pipeline isn't running, but we don't know if it is running or not, or if the UI is wrong or not. You know?
I think I know what you mean. So for this commit, essentially, so the way that I was checking before was looking on the pipelines tab. So let me just go back to here. So this is
Do you
2.9.
Do you have a runner running?
No, so they will never get picked up, these jobs.
Okay, because I was worried that maybe that ref was needed by the runner itself.
Gotcha. So okay, even more. I think I had the price shell running here. So
Yeah.
maybe I intercepted and didn't allow the pipeline to actually get created. But maybe the answer is, what is the criteria for the pipelines that are shown here?
Oh,
How are these filtered? And maybe that's the same way that these should be filtered.
I actually, I kind of think that there's something wrong with that also, because I, on a screenshot that I shared last, let me find it.
Shall I open up in Discord, or is it top secret?
No, I should have.
I think you obfuscated all the.
Yeah, I don't remember where I sent you.
I think it was in the support channel.
Yeah. Yes. So, did you find it?
I did. I'm just gonna see if I can open it up, because my Discord does happen to have stuff that I particularly want to, and I don't know when you do a save image from Discord where they go. That's helpful. Oh, I don't think there's anything too top secret on there.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
If you look at the two pipelines with the red squiggly lines, yeah, they're basically the same. They are the same pipeline with two different IDs. I don't know why.
Commit.
Yeah. If you look at the ref, that's different.
So it does look like this is actually duplicate. But I think that's exactly the problem. One of the problems that kind of led us down this street in the first place, if that makes sense. That this is an MR pipeline. And this
Yes.
is not an MR pipeline. And we can tell that from the label, the tag, the badge, whatever you want to call it.
Oh yeah.
So I think that sucks, and I'd like to understand better. I feel like that's a bug that should be fixed. We shouldn't have to write a rule to work around that. But I don't know that sort of, I don't think that impacts my thinking of what if we were to use the same logic that's used to filter here, to filter the ones in here. I want to call that a day now. I think it's been super valuable, even though we have gone round in a few circles.
Well, I guess we can say to the team, have a look at the video.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because writing down what we thought about would take a week.
Yes and no. I think I can summarize it. There's 3 or 4 kind of important points, right? There's the fact that this is filtering on the ref. There's the fact that the ref for the pipelines is not in the correct format, or it's special, or whatever we want to call it. We can highlight that. We can highlight the fact that whatever logic is being used to filter the refs, and I can do a quick dig into that afterwards at some point to find out what the logic is that's been used to filter the pipelines there. We can highlight the fact of the duplicate pipelines and kind of that, is there an issue open for that, to try and make it so we don't have to write a rule ourselves to try and prevent duplicate pipelines. And the other real big thing, I think, is really to understand, is there a documented desired behavior for this? Would we want it to show, a web IDE pipeline or a whatever, or a blah, 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 or do we only want it to show a merge request? Because that might actually be the answer. The answer might be that where I made my fix in here, where I was getting the latest pipeline, so it was for a ref, I said fall back to that. The correct one might be to actually say, I think you maybe alluded to this at one point, Marco, that it's the latest merge request pipeline.
Yeah.
And maybe even, so you showed me the list of enums, which was here. Maybe this one trumps all of the others.
Yeah, and maybe maybe it could be worth maybe even letting the user decide what to see if there are multiple.
I know we don't like options and settings and configurability. We prefer like out of the box, this is how it behaves. But there's a possibility. I think there's 3 or 4 things that I can document and bring to whoever's attention. But yes, thank you very much both for indulging. And James, I know backend isn't maybe your favourite beast, or maybe it is because it's not what you normally get to look at. But
it was interesting.
And we will share some details of your kind of, not grand plan, but what you've got in the pipeline as well, James. Did you want to mention anything? Because I think, are you looking to maybe invite some people to a session next week? Or
there's not much to mention yet. It's all mostly ideas. But next week, Wednesday, we're having a pairing. So Tristan, who's the other front end engineer on Monitor Respond, we're going to live code an issue.
And you're going to do similar to this, right? You're just going to pick up something that you're intending on working on, regardless, and just, not act that different to as if you were doing it with no one watching, right?
Exactly. We were going to do it anyway, so now it'll be broadcast. Hopefully it'll be interesting for people. But
awesome. Yeah. Well, I think you'll have me and or Marco, if no one else on there. So We look
I hope
forward
I
to
can
that.
make it because next week will be pretty hard on time.
Is
So-
is it the impending wedding or?
Yeah, next Saturday. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Thank you very much for joining, guys, and hopefully see you next week.
Thanks. Bye.
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 Thank